The phone rang in Tokyo at exactly 3:47 p.m. on May 27, 2025. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba picked up, expecting a routine diplomatic call. What he got instead was President Trump on the other line with an offer that could reshape the entire balance of power in the Pacific. "We have such great fighter jets," Trump told him. "Would you like to take a look at them?" But this wasn't just any aircraft. This was the F-47, America's first sixth-generation stealth fighter that makes the F-22 Raptor look like yesterday's news. A fighter jet so advanced that our enemies, according to Trump, will never see it coming. While Japan struggles with delays in their own fighter program with Britain and Italy, Trump just offered them the keys to the most lethal aircraft ever built. The F-47 can fly over 1,000 nautical miles without refueling. That's 70% farther than our current F-22s. It travels faster than Mach 2 and features what the Air Force calls Stealth Plus technology. China's been testing their own sixth-generation fighters, the J-36 and J-50, but experts say they're still years behind what Boeing has already flying in secret since 2019. This single phone call might have just given America's most crucial Pacific ally the edge they need to counter China's growing military threat. If you think this could change everything in the Pacific, type yes in the comments and let us know your thoughts on this historic offer. But here's what makes this even more fascinating. Japan wasn't expecting this call at all. The timing was perfect, coming just as Japan's own fighter program faces serious delays that could push their new aircraft into the 2040s instead of 2035. The F-47 isn't just another fighter jet. When President Trump announced this program back in March at the White House, flanked by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Air Force Chief of Staff General David Ulvin, he made it clear this aircraft represents a generational leap. "Nothing in the world comes even close to it," Trump declared, and the specifications back up that bold claim. Our Air Force has been quietly testing experimental versions of this fighter for almost 5 years. While China and Russia have been bragging about their next-generation aircraft, American engineers have been logging hundreds of flight hours with technology that makes their competitors look outdated. The F-47 designation itself honors both the legendary P-47 Thunderbolt from World War II and recognizes Trump as our 47th president. Boeing won this massive contract over Lockheed Martin in what industry experts call the most important defense decision in decades. The initial development contract alone is worth over $20 billion, with total program costs potentially reaching $50 billion. But here's the remarkable part. Unlike previous programs that spiraled out of control, the Air Force designed this as a cost-plus contract, learning from past mistakes. General David Ulvin put it perfectly when he said this fighter will have significantly longer range, more advanced stealth, be more sustainable, supportable, and have higher availability than our fifth-generation fighters. The strategic implications of Trump's offer to Japan go far beyond just selling another weapon system. Japan has been America's strongest ally in the Pacific for decades, and they've always operated the most advanced American military technology available. They're currently the largest overseas customer for our F-35 Lightning II, with 147 aircraft on order. They've historically operated more F-15 Eagles than any other country except the United States. 220 aircraft that form the backbone of their air defense for decades. But Japan faces a unique challenge. China's military modernization has accelerated dramatically, and their new sixth-generation fighters pose a direct threat to Japanese security. At the same time, Japan's participation in the Global Combat Air Program with Britain and Italy has hit significant roadblocks. Sources close to the Japanese Defense Ministry report growing frustration with what they see as a lack of urgency from their European partners. The GCAP program, also known as Tempest, was supposed to deliver a sixth-generation fighter by 2035, but development delays have pushed the first demonstrator flight to 2027, and many experts now believe the actual aircraft won't enter service until the 2040s. That's potentially a full decade behind American and Chinese sixth-generation fighters. Here's where Trump's offer becomes incredibly strategic. The F-47 could be operational between 2025 and 2029, giving Japan immediate access to the world's most advanced air superiority fighter right when they need it most. The combat radius of over 1,000 nautical miles means Japanese F-47s could project power far into the Pacific, covering critical sea lanes and providing air cover for Allied operations. But this offer also sends a powerful message to China. Beijing has been testing what they claim are sixth-generation fighters, including aircraft designated J-36 and J-50. Chinese social media has been filled with boasts about their technological advancement, but American intelligence suggests these aircraft are still years behind what the F-47 already achieves. The technology gap becomes clear when you examine the specifications. The F-47's Stealth++ configuration represents advances in radar-absorbing materials and aircraft shaping that go far beyond current stealth technology. The aircraft's adaptive cycle engines provide both extended range and superior performance across all flight regimes. Most importantly, the F-47 is designed from the ground up to control swarms of unmanned collaborative combat aircraft, essentially turning each fighter into a force multiplier that commands multiple drone wingmen. This capability terrifies our adversaries because it fundamentally changes aerial combat. Instead of one pilot controlling one aircraft, the F-47 pilot becomes a quarterback directing an entire team of autonomous platforms. These collaborative combat aircraft can carry additional weapons, provide electronic warfare support, or act as expendable decoys to protect the manned fighter. The Chinese understand this threat, which explains their reaction to Trump's F-47 announcement. Chinese social media platforms erupted with criticism, but much of it focused on mocking design elements that China's own fighters actually use. One viral post read, "The Americans mocked Europe's Delta wings and the J-20's Canard Delta design for years. Now their own superfighter uses it, a complete reversal." This criticism reveals more about Chinese insecurity than American weakness. Russian media was equally dismissive, with Moscow newspapers calling Trump's announcement premature. But defense analysts note that Russian criticism often increases in proportion to their concern about American technological advantages. Denis Fedotinov, a Russian aviation analyst quoted in Moskovsky Komsomolets, complained that there are no actual specifics yet, but that's exactly the point. The most sensitive capabilities remain classified. For Japan, the decision about Trump's F-47 offer involves more than just military capability. It's fundamentally about strategic autonomy versus alliance dependence. The GCAP program promised Japan equal partnership with Britain and Italy, ensuring full operational and technological sovereignty over their future fighter. Unlike the F-35 program, where American control over critical systems limits partner nations' operational freedom, GCAP was designed to give each partner complete independence. But independence means nothing if the aircraft arrives too late to counter immediate threats. Japanese defense officials privately expressed concern that China's military buildup won't wait for European development timelines. The People's Liberation Army Air Force continues expanding its capabilities, and recent tensions over Taiwan have only accelerated Chinese military preparations. Trump's offer provides Japan with an immediate solution, but it comes with trade-offs. The export version of the F-47 would likely be toned down about 10%, as Trump himself acknowledged. This reflects standard American practice of maintaining technological advantages even with closest allies. The F-22 Raptor was never offered for export precisely because its capabilities were considered too sensitive. However, even a reduced capability F-47 would dramatically exceed anything currently available to Japan. The aircraft's 1,000-mile combat radius alone transforms Japan's strategic reach, allowing them to project power throughout the first island chain and beyond. Combined with Japan's existing network of air bases and their advanced missile defense systems, E-47s would create an integrated defense umbrella that China would find extremely difficult to penetrate. The timing of Trump's offer also reflects broader changes in American defense strategy. For decades, the United States maintained technological superiority by keeping the most advanced systems exclusively for American forces. But the pace of Chinese military development has forced a recalculation. Sharing advanced technology with trusted allies now serves American interests by creating a stronger collective defense against Chinese expansion. This strategic shift became evident in recent American decisions to share submarine technology with Australia under the AUKUS agreement and to provide increasingly sophisticated weapons to Taiwan. The F-47 offer to Japan represents another step in this direction. using American technological leadership to strengthen the alliance network that contains Chinese ambitions. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth framed this perfectly during the F-47 announcement, calling the program a gift to our children and our grandchildren. By strengthening Allied capabilities today, America ensures that future generations inherit a world where democratic values and free navigation remain protected. The industrial implications of Japan potentially choosing the F-47 over GCAP are equally significant. Boeing has invested over $2 billion preparing for F-47 production, including construction of a massive 1.1 million square foot manufacturing facility expected to be complete by 2026. A Japanese order would help justify this investment while providing crucial international revenue for the program. Conversely, Japanese withdrawal from GCAP would be devastating for the European program. Japan's industrial contribution and potential orders were essential for making GCAP economically viable. Without Japanese participation, Britain and Italy might struggle to afford development costs, potentially forcing them to scale back their ambitions or seek other partners. Some European defense analysts worry that American pressure could fracture the GCAP partnership entirely. Alessandro Marone from Italy's Institute of International Affairs notes that GCAP represents European strategic autonomy in defense technology. If Japan chooses American aircraft instead, it could signal that even America's closest allies prefer dependence on American technology over independent European alternatives. But this perspective misses the fundamental security challenge Japan faces. Geographic reality means Japan confronts Chinese military power directly, while European partners remain thousands of miles away from potential Pacific conflicts. For Japanese leaders, the choice between strategic autonomy and immediate security needs isn't academic, it's existential. Chinese military analysts understand this dynamic perfectly. Their own commentaries acknowledge that American fighter technology remains superior to Chinese alternatives, despite years of intensive development. The appearance of Chinese sixth-generation prototypes in late 2024 generated significant propaganda value, but intelligence assessments suggest these aircraft lack the advanced systems integration that makes the F-47 truly revolutionary. The F-47's artificial intelligence-driven mission systems represent perhaps the most significant advancement over previous fighter generations. These systems allow the aircraft to process vast amounts of sensor data in real time, identifying targets and threats faster than any human pilot could manage. Combined with the ability to control multiple unmanned platforms simultaneously, this creates a combat capability that no adversary can currently match. Chinese efforts to develop similar capabilities face fundamental obstacles. Their military-industrial complex lacks the decades of experience in advanced avionics integration that American companies possess. More importantly, China's authoritarian system creates barriers to the kind of innovative thinking that produces breakthrough technologies. While Chinese engineers excel at copying existing systems, creating genuinely revolutionary capabilities requires the intellectual freedom that democratic societies provide. This technological gap explains why Trump's F-47 offer carries such strategic weight. By providing Japan with access to the world's most advanced fighter technology, America ensures that any Chinese military adventure in the Pacific would face overwhelming opposition. The combination of American F-47s, Japanese F-47s, and Allied support systems would create a defensive network that no rational adversary would challenge. The economic benefits of accepting Trump's offer also deserve consideration. While the F-47's unit cost remains classified, General Alvin has confirmed it will cost less than the F-22 while providing superior capabilities. The F-22 program cost approximately $143 million per aircraft, suggesting the F-47 might come in significantly below earlier estimates of $300 million per aircraft. For Japan's defense budget, this represents exceptional value. The GCAP program's costs continue rising as development stretches longer than planned. British officials have committed over £12 billion for the next 10 years alone, with total program costs still unknown. If similar cost growth affects Japan's contribution, the F-47 might actually prove more affordable than continuing with European partners. Manufacturing arrangements could also benefit Japan's defense industry. American defense contractors typically require significant industrial participation from international customers, creating opportunities for Japanese companies to contribute to F-47 production. This technology transfer could enhance Japan's own defense capabilities while building expertise for future projects. The strategic messaging of Trump's offer extends beyond Japan to every nation watching Chinese expansion. Countries like Australia, South Korea, and even India face similar decisions about their future defense capabilities. If Japan chooses the F-47, it demonstrates that America remains committed to providing allied nations with the tools they need to defend themselves. This commitment becomes especially important as Chinese military pressure increases throughout the region. Recent Chinese military exercises near Taiwan have grown increasingly aggressive, while Chinese Coast Guard vessels regularly intrude into Japanese territorial waters around the Senkaku Islands. These provocations test Allied resolve and probe for weaknesses in the defensive network. The F-47's extended range and advanced sensors would dramatically improve Allied ability to monitor and respond to Chinese military activities. Japanese F-47s based throughout the island chain could provide continuous surveillance of Chinese naval movements while maintaining the ability to respond rapidly to any aggressive actions. But perhaps most importantly, the F-47 represents American confidence in Japanese partnership. Unlike previous technology transfers that came with extensive restrictions and oversight requirements, Trump's offer suggests a new level of trust and cooperation. This confidence reflects Japan's demonstrated reliability as an ally and their proven ability to operate advanced American military systems responsibly. The decision facing Japanese leaders ultimately comes down to timing and trust. Can they trust their European partners to deliver GCAP on schedule and within budget? Can they afford to wait until the 2040s for a new fighter while Chinese capabilities continue advancing? These questions have no easy answers, but the strategic environment doesn't allow for extended deliberation. Chinese military modernization continues accelerating regardless of Japanese decision-making timelines. Every month of delay potentially advantages Chinese military planners who are working to create facts on the ground before Allied responses can materialize. In this context, Trump's offer provides Japan with immediate access to capabilities that could preserve the balance of power during the critical decade ahead. The broader implications extend to alliance management throughout the Indo-Pacific. Other American allies will be watching Japan's decision carefully, looking for signals about American commitment to regional security. If Japan chooses the F-47, it reinforces the message that America provides reliable security partnerships. If Japan rejects the offer in favor of uncertain European alternatives, it might encourage other allies to hedge their bets with different security providers. This dynamic makes Trump's F-47 offer about more than just aircraft sales. It's fundamentally about the future architecture of Pacific security and whether Democratic allies can maintain the military advantages necessary to deter authoritarian expansion. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the window for decision-making continues narrowing as Chinese capabilities advance. As we've seen throughout this analysis, Trump's offer of the F-47 to Japan represents one of the most significant defense decisions of our time. The combination of advanced American technology, urgent Japanese security needs, and changing strategic dynamics in the Pacific creates a unique opportunity to strengthen the alliance that has preserved peace for decades. The F-47's revolutionary capabilities, from its 1,000-mile combat radius to its ability to command drone swarms, would give Japan the tools needed to maintain air superiority against any potential adversary. More importantly, it would send an unmistakable signal that America remains committed to providing our allies with the most advanced military technology available. Whether Japan accepts this historic offer remains to be seen, but the implications will reshape Pacific security for generations to come. In a world where technological superiority often determines strategic outcomes, Trump's F-47 offer gives our most important Pacific ally the chance to maintain the edge that keeps us all safe. And remember to hit that like button if you found this analysis helpful, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the defense developments that shape our world. The decisions being made today will determine the security landscape our children inherit, and staying informed has never been more important.